Huh. Okay. I think we're stuck. No, I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, somebody's gonna come and get this thing going again, but, well, hey, hey, calm down, everything's gonna be okay. Huh. Well, looks like it's you and me for a little bit. Yeah. We'll take a seat. So, what's your story? What's my story? Okay. I'm Jeremiah. What's your name? Oh. Good to meet you. First time stuck in an elevator? Me? Actually, no. You know, it's funny, I was in Paris, visiting a girlfriend. This is way back in the day, like, circa 2002, 2003. And, she had a friend who lived in Paris, and he, like most Parisianers, took the month of August to go on vacation, you know. And we were staying in his building, in his flat, you know, his apartment. And it had one of those old kind of like rickety black cage elevators, you know, like really old school, like, yeah, you know, like you're kind of exposed and you can kind of see the stairwell, you know, running around it. And we were sitting in there. We had a bunch of groceries in our hands, you know, like cheese and baguettes and very Frenchy things. And this elevator just stopped, and we were like, but it was tiny. It wasn't like this. I mean, it was like, you know, the two of us could barely fit inside of it. And I remember sitting there, and definitely a little moment of panic, you know. I was just like, we both yelling, help, you know, help. We had cell phones, I think. Yeah, we must have. Because we definitely made a phone call. But I can't remember if there was a phone in the elevator. Anyway, we made some phone call, but our French was pretty terrible. And I remember we were sitting there like, emergency, l'elevator. That goes bad. They somehow got the message that, you know, the elevator was stuck, and we were probably only in there for like 5 or 10 minutes. But that was like a little claustrophobic little elevator. That was not fun. But, so no, this is not my first time being stuck in an elevator. But, yeah, all things considered, could be worse. Well, you know, try to be an optimist, you know, a glass half full kind of dude. What kind of work do you do? You don't want to tell me? Okay. You don't have to. I don't know you know. I'm a YouTuber. I make ASMR. So I make relaxing videos. Lucky you, huh? It's okay. Hey, we're gonna be okay. Hey, look at me. I promise. I have it on good authority that we're gonna be okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know when's the last time you heard about somebody dying in an elevator. Like, never. So, I think the odds are in our favor. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, I do YouTube. Have you ever heard of ASMR? Well, a lot of times it's like really, auditory driven. Like this sound, like if I go like this to your ears. Isn't that kind of cool? Like, sounds kind of neat, right? I can do it over here too, if I go like, yeah, I don't know, that's one example. And there's fabric sounds and light triggers, and it's a pretty big category, I do a lot of role plays. Play a doctor, therapist. I play this dude named Helmut, he's like this kind of German character. He's very fun. He's very kind of ambiguously flamboyant, He's great. But, yeah, that, and I teach chess. So, yeah, I teach chess. I've been doing it for years. I think I started teaching chess back in 2008, 2007. Yeah. But, yeah, so you found yourself stuck in an elevator with a person whose job it is to make them calm. Am I helping you ease your anxiety? Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. Well, I live in LA, but I'm not from LA. I grew up in Ohio, And I grew up in a town called Dayton. You ever heard of Dayton, Ohio? Dayton, Ohio is a funny little city because it's not very big. It's like 300,000 to 500,000 people. But it's pretty famous for like the Wright brothers. Like the Wright brothers are from Dayton, Ohio. The Sheen family, Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen. Well, so Martin is the dad, and Charlie and Emilio. Even though Emilio Estevez, he took his mom's last name, just to kind of, I guess, distinguish himself from his brother. But they're from Dayton. Smuckers is from Dayton. Huffy, the bicycle company, is from Dayton. So yeah, the Wright brothers they started off making bicycles. And if you look at the first Wright B Flyer, you could definitely see the influence of the bicycle gears and the chains, and so they were expanding into new territory. But their engineering background was, I believe, primarily in bicycles. But they went on to do bigger, better things, obviously. Also, crazy true story, the house my parents live in is this really cool, old, Victorian mansion kind of a thing, They've put so much money into fixing it up. So much. Endless money pit. But, apparently, the top room where they currently have the master bedroom used to be like a gaming parlor, and apparently Orville Wright, or maybe it was Wilbur Wright, one of the two brothers, used to play billiards up there with the old owner, this dude named Huffman. There's a whole Huffman historical district in Dayton, and apparently he played billiards in my parents' now master bedroom, but it wasn't a bedroom back then. It was like a gaming parlor, probably where the men would go have cigars and sip on brandy or port. I don't think they had British accents. I don't know why I made Americans from Dayton have British accents, but whatever. They probably had, I bet they had a transatlantic accent. That's that weird kind of affected thing from like the 1940s where it's like, it's not really English and it's not really American. It's that weird kind of, yeah, see, well, there we go. Oh, darling, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah, but I grew up there. You know, Dad was in the military, so I got stationed at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and that's where we moved there when I was like 2. So, for all intents and purposes, yeah, I grew up in Dayton. Did I like it? You know, as a kid, it was great. It was, we had a good-sized backyard and like a playground area, and when we lived on base housing, we were just surrounded by families with children. So, like, our neighborhood, we just had a lot of kids. And our friends, you know, go bicycling, go in the woods and play tag and try to build tree forts. And we had a playground not far from our little house, like, you know, like 100 yards away, maybe less. And we would go there and just go on the swings and the merry-go-round and the slide, and yeah. But the main memories I have, that was so cool, is that we were pretty close to a set of train tracks, and this old, I don't know, it wasn't a power station, but it was like a coal transferring plant, I think. I mean, I don't know, it had smokestacks. It wasn't very big. I don't know if it ever made power, but it definitely was a place where train cars could get loaded up, you know, with coal. So we would go down to the train tracks, and Mom, Dad, and me, I would go walk on the train tracks and do like little experiments, you know. Have you ever walked on train tracks? It's really cool. So you can, one fun experiment you can do is if you get like 100 yards apart, not even 100 feet, you know, like if you get like 100 feet away from each other on train tracks, and you can always find like a railroad spike tie, you know, one of those rail spikes laying around, they're everywhere, or even a rock. And if you pick one of those up and you hit the rail with it, doink, you'll hear 2 distinct sounds. It'll sound like kink, kink. And the reason is, of course, is because, I shouldn't say of course, the reason is because the sound travels faster through metal than it does through the air. So the sound actually is, you're hearing the same sound twice, just once through the steel and then once through the air. Yeah, it's neat. Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, a 9th grade science experiment, but I don't know, I remember doing that, and my brother and I would explore, but man, I'll tell you, I have always loved trains. They're just so big, the scale, you know, and when you see these huge freight cars going by loaded with coal and that big steam engine, and cabooses are definitely kind of I think cabooses are kind of a thing of the past. They don't really use cabooses anymore, but I remember one time we were down on the train tracks, and you know, we watched this train go by, and at the end of this train was a little red caboose, and there was a dude sitting out on the back of the caboose, just waving at us. We're like, dude, there's actually a dude on a caboose riding on a train. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, we'd explore and just walk the train tracks, and my brother was really big into turtles, and he got really big into snapping turtles, which are pretty big, you know, like a snapping turtle. The shell is probably at least the size of my face, if not like a little bigger almost, depending on the age of the turtle, of course, but they get, you know, snapping turtles get pretty big. And they're crazy looking, and they look like dinosaurs, and they have like this like spiky tail, like little like bone spurs, spikes on the tail. They're gnarly looking. And the other weird thing is snapping turtles have a really distinct musky odor. And like it's pungent. I don't know what it is, but they definitely emit this like really musky turtle smell, for lack of a better word. And that was how my brother was able to catch so many. He could oftentimes, we'd be in a creek, and he would stop and be like, "You smell that? There's a turtle." And 9 out of 10 times he was right, you know. We would spot a turtle, and several times, you know, he was pretty brave. My brother was pretty ballsy. He wouldn't. This is like when he's 10 years old, you know, 9, quite a young dude. He would pick him up, just grab him by the tail, you know. And they're heavy. They weigh like 10, 15 pounds, you know. And their head has like this kind of hawk beak. They'd be sitting there, you know, you hold up this turtle and its head is out and it's kind of hissing at us like. And this one time we brought one home and we had a little kiddie wading pool in the backyard. And we thought it'd be fun to have like a pet snapping turtle for a few days. And so we put the turtle in the wading pool. We put in some rocks and I think some sand even. And, you know, we tried to make it like a cool little environment for a turtle. And we go inside to eat or whatever, and we come back outside and pooh, turtle's gone. We're like, what? So we go down the hill in the backyard, and lo and behold, there's this turtle walking down the hill, walking back to the creek, you know, had like a homing device. So my brother decided he wasn't done hanging out with the turtle, so he picks it up and brings it back. And my mom used to use chicken wire for her tomatoes. She used to grow a little garden, and so we put like 2 feet of chicken wire, probably 2 feet of chicken wire around the kiddie pool to keep the turtle in and let the top off. And I think it was there the next morning, and we're like, okay, cool. And then we'd closed the door at a sliding glass door. And I remember one time, though, we peeked out the sliding glass door, and this frickin' turtle was like halfway up the chicken wire, like climbing out of the kiddie pool. And we were like, what? I mean, apparently they're crazy climbers. And the next day, turtle was gone. He escaped. He got out, must have crawled his way up, and was like, sayonara, flipped over, landed on the grass, and walked off back to his creek. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. But so, you know, so growing up in Dayton was great. You know, as a kid, it was great. But once I got in my teens, it became pretty boring, you know? And I wanted to get out. I wanted to get out of Ohio. And I was going, I was an actor, you know, I wanted to be in the theater. And I was like auditioning at theater schools all over, and I got into Tisch, which is NYU. So, yay me, gold star, high five, Jay. And I thought I was going to go, but right before I was going to move out there, I got a call from my folks, and they said, you know, hey, we're really sorry, but your mom and I are looking at our finances, and we can't swing this amount of debt right now. And I was disappointed, but I definitely, I understood. I understood. And I ended up going to UW, University of Washington, in Seattle. So yeah, when I was 19, I packed up all my gear and headed west, you know. Go west, young man. Seek your fortune. So, I don't know. How much do you want to know? I have no idea how much time we have. shouldn't be that much longer, right? Shouldn't be. But, yeah, go out west. Go to the University of Washington. I studied theater and dance, and after graduating, it was, I had an option, I could either go to New York now, or go to LA. And I had a friend in LA who was trying to be a musician, and he was like, come on down, dude, you're gonna love it. And I was like, why not? I've always wanted to live in LA, kind of a dream. And so I came to LA, trying to be an actor. And of course, like all actors, I was a caterer and a bartender, and eventually I worked my way up to being what do you call it, like a mixologist. I was like one of those fancy bars where everything's muddled, like craft cocktails. I did that. And then, I pursued acting, but I did all the classes, and then, I became a member of SAG and everything, but it's a tough road to hoe, being an actor. It's hard. It's a hard road. Along that way is when I started teaching chess. I did that full time for a while, and then started a company with my dad and brother, and well, before that I got married, and that was huge. And started a company with my dad and brother. That didn't work out, and then right before the pandemic of 2020 and 2021, I tried out ASMR. I tried making the YouTubes, and I've been doing that ever since. Yeah, it's really fun. I do enjoy it. Well, I like doing characters, and I like telling stories. If you can't tell, I love telling stories. I will talk about myself forever if you let me. But hey, I think we're good. Well, hey, you know what? It was nice to meet you, and who knows? Maybe I'll see you in the next life. Yeah. No, good luck with everything. Thanks for being my elevator buddy. Thank you, elevator buddy. Perhaps we'll meet again.